guys, I'm gonna kind of do a hodgepodge of what we got going on here. We're still just trying to knock out the punch list on the Mustang. I leave for out of town for work tomorrow, so we're gonna try to hammer the rest of the shit out. It's pretty easy shit. So just a quick punch list here. We got our hood pins, our drive shaft loop, which we're gonna hammer out right now, so we can bring the car down and do the water pump, do a V-band. We got to swap out a coolant hose, and then the drive shaft is out to get lengthened right now in Green Bay. So hopefully they had to order a tube for it. That will be done in a few days. So by the time I get back in town, I should be able to pick that up, and then we will be testing this deal. Next week we'll be at Automotion with this deal next weekend. So if you guys want to come check this thing out, we'll be at Automotion. So yeah, what we got going on here, I'll just show you guys real quick. So we're gonna weld this whole thing. I don't really care to bolt it. No reason to bolt it. I think it'll actually help like make the chassis more rigid. So let me set you guys down for a second, and then I'll kind of show you where we're gonna end up welding it here. So essentially they're doing it all bolt up. I don't really see a reason to have it bolt up, so as long as the drive shaft comes in and out, that's all I really care about. I doubt I'm ever going to tube the floor in this car, hopefully not. So yeah, I'll clean all this up around here, and then I don't know, we might TIG it, but I might just MIG it. It's so much faster to MIG it. Just squirt it on and we can make them look real nice. This is thicker material, so put a nice little fillet weld with the squirt gun. But yeah, we'll probably just weld all the way around. I mean, it's only a drive shaft. Granted, this actually will probably stiffen up the chassis a little bit in the middle. Not a whole lot there other than the cross member, but those are, I think, poly mounts on there. So this will kind of help keep the center of the chassis rigid. Granted, it's just flat plate steel, but, and then we'll clean this up, and then we'll probably weld all the way around these on both sides to the floor pan, which the floor pan's already been done in this thing before I got it. Bear with me here. I'll try to get this thing set in here how we're gonna guys, it's something kind of like this. It's kind of hard to hold with one hand, but we're just gonna weld it on. I'll get it in there where I like it. We're gonna mark it off, clean off the floor pans, and get this deal squirt gunned in. The transmission plumbing is done. Zip tie's gotta get trimmed, but I might put a little bit more of those steel rubber grommets on there. But that Evil Energy kit came with these little coupling deals, I guess. I don't really understand what they're called, but there's a cooler back here. It's just gotta get wired in. I finished those a couple days ago. So yeah, let's get to cleaning this and burning this out then. And obviously, guys, be very careful. Anytime you weld on the bottom of a vehicle, I'm sure you've seen fucking horror videos on TikTok and shit like that. Make sure you have either someone watching the inside of the car or pull the carpet.
Golden honey dripping slow, taste so sweet, let it flow. Fingertips trace my spine, dark wine spilling down my thighs. Velvet rope, secret doors, candle wax on marble floors. No names, no ties, no past, just a moment, make it last. Come and take a bite, sink your teeth in deep.
I don't know if you guys can really see with this camera, but this little Harbor Freight squirt gun runs like butter. Yeah, so there's that, and we're gonna go ahead and throw it on the car. have it. We took our time because there's no way I was pulling out the seats and the carpet. So yeah, I pretty much triggered all of it, unfortunately, but I just really didn't want to have to fucking fire extinguish my garage down after this thing started on fire. So it's that simple. We'll get some paint on it and that'll be good. I just wanted to go through the install on the Motion Raceworks. It's like aluminum big duckbill wing. So I ordered this a couple days ago, came in pretty fast. I just wanted to go, there's not really a PDF or anything to go over kind of the install of how to do it. So I'll kind of take you guys along. Here's what you get in the box. There's a couple videos on YouTube how to do it. I kind of looked at some of those. We're going to try to get through the hardware here. It seems pretty simple. Just watched a couple videos and looked at a couple pictures. You get your struts, you get your end plates, obviously your hardware, as I was just saying. Here's the wing here, end plate. I'll kind of go over quick. On the new edge, it has this taillight on the trunk, so you kind of got to deal with that. Obviously these end plates, you want that top flush, right? Also, these struts, they're angled differently. Obviously, I have these two. They all have one spot to go. You can't really interchange them. So the more angled ends go on the corners, obviously, for the new edge Mustangs. And then obviously your ears on these struts are pointed out, you know, on both sides. So these two will be pointed out. These are going to be riveted, and then these will be bolted. I'm pretty sure we're going to get through here and see what happens. Just a quick way of how I did the math here. I measured in about 7/8 from the edge is where I want this end strut center. I do everything from center hole. Makes it easy. So this will get us pretty close to flush with the trunk. So I measured 7/8 down on the ends. I did both ends, and then I measured, you know, our overall, right? So that came out to 51 inches. And then we need 4 struts, right? So to get that, you got to divide 51 by 3 because you have 3 chunks here in between. It's not how many struts you got, because that would be 4. You want the area in between each strut, right? And if you have 4, there's 3 areas in between. That's kind of an easy way, at least I would do it. Disregard all that. That's kind of some other shit I fucked up on. But so anyways, yeah, we got 3 areas here: right, center, left. The other thing, obviously, with the taillight I was referring to, you can't go up to get the wing flush. So I measured out, these are our marks normally to make them dead nuts even. Instead of doing that, because of the taillight, I moved it 3 inches over towards the outside of the car to get past the new edge taillight, okay, if that makes sense. And then I measured our 7/8 down from the lid, and then I measured 3 inches over on both sides from our, you know, once I did the math, like I said, 51 divided by 3, that gives us 17 inches in between each. So then I measured 17 from here in, and then I measured 17 from here in. So in between here is 17 also. So you have 3 chunks, obviously. I just want to help you guys out that get confused easily. So anyways, so then I took off 3 inches just to get by the taillight. I measured down our 7/8, same ones these are, so it should all be exact. It should all follow the lid of the trunk. And then we'll go ahead and probably try to like level these out, at least so the top of the strut kind of matches the contour, or try to eye it up so like this matches the contour of this. So yeah, we'll probably end up kind of looking down it and then kind of just getting it real close, and then we'll get these holes punched, mark all the holes out, get them punched, and then get the struts riveted on, and then continue to doing the final assembly on the wing. So. Alright guys, I'm just going to leave the camera where you're sitting there. There's 16 of these 3/16 rivets, so we're probably going to grab these because obviously there's 16 rivets on the struts themselves. So we're going to go ahead and we'll probably just drill the top hole on all of them. And then we'll probably end up setting the wing on it and trying to just make sure, because you could tell on the previous snippet that like I was eyeing it up from the end of it to match the contour. So these should be close, but I'd rather just put one in and then be able to swivel them kind of wherever we need it. So yeah, this one would be the fourth one in on the bag. There's 16 of these larger rivets in there. I think we're gonna try those for their struts. So let's get to it. Alright guys, I fucked up already. So long story short, on the Fox body video I was watching, he runs them real close to the side of the car, which is what I had intentionally done. I didn't realize that on the new Edge and possibly the SM95 cars is that the wing tapers a lot. Like it's freaking 3, 4, 5 inches by the time it kind of angles in, right? Like I didn't notice how much it followed the body line. So with this on the Edge, like I was thinking it flared out like that on purpose. Like I was thinking that was gonna hold the end of it, in other words. Yeah, I fucked up. So just so you guys know, on the new Edge, apparently we got to come in. I'm going to decide how far to go. I'll probably throw the wing on here and just set them on these two, and then kind of hold this under while the wing is on, and that'll kind of determine, you know, and then I can always measure from here to wherever I get this marked out, and that way we can do the same on the other side, and then it'll come out. But yeah, I'm Alright guys, quick recap. I ended up drilling these holes. I got it nice and flush with the top of the lid, and then we just set it, it's just sitting on these two struts, right? That way I was able to stick this guy in here and kind of see exactly where, I mean we marked it already, but so it's gonna get put back-ish. Okay, so then it kind of lines up nice, and then what I'll do is I'll measure from this hole on the other side and then measure into our new hole, and then I'll probably do the same distance down here, and then that way both of them ideally should be the same. We kind of just loosely put the end caps on temporarily just to get a feel for what it was going to be. We realized these little points here are reference lines for the trunk lid. So that'll kind of get you really close to where you need to be. So we referenced those, held it down, and then we just took a marker and tipped every hole all the way down, and then we flipped it over on a towel, punched holes like a complete idiot. I should have drilled from the top, because now we got these burrs and I don't have a deburring tool. I have a deburring bit. If the screws don't set flush, I'll have to go through and take care of them, but yeah, I would drill from the top. Those bolts are the ones right on the nut end right here in this empty. They're the bigger ones. The bigger ones are what you use for mounting everything but the wicker bill that goes across the back. The bigger bolts are for the side and the top for the struts. The smaller ones will go all the way along the wicker bill, the adjustable wicker bill. So we're gonna get through putting all these bolts in, and then we'll get that wicker bill bolted up. And these, I used an 1/8 inch drill bit. Pretty simple. The struts are all riveted on. Turned out pretty nice. And yeah, let's get through putting this wicker bill on. And then these are going to be fastened by the small rivets. These are, I don't know, probably 1/8 inch or something, maybe even smaller, 16. That will be this guy right here. And it will be the small holes go to the top. So it will sit like this. And then the big holes go to the bottom. So something like this. And then it will bend the radius of the wing. So let's get through that. Another thing, guys, I would advise to do would maybe be tape around these rivets, or at least set something around the hole. Obviously, when you're riveting this shit, it jumps. I did leave a couple scratches on mine. Looks like a good old-fashioned no prep fucking wing now. But yeah, so I would advise, if I did this again, or if it was someone else's vehicle, I'd definitely drill from the top for these holes, and then I would tape around these when you rivet them so that it doesn't get scratched. I mean, it's not terrible. You really can barely tell it's scratched, but just because it's me, I'll cry about it for a while. We're going to get to mounting this guy, and then that'll be a wrap on this deal. And guys, there it is in its entirety. Turned out pretty sick. Motion, of course, makes a really nice product. Kind of hard to tell, but yeah. That'll be a wrap on that. We're gonna knock out the rest of the shit here today, tomorrow, next week. And get probably some film of this deal at automotion. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Like, subscribe, keep you updated, and like I said, we're gonna try to knock out filming some events and shit like that. So I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.